Individuals who experience domestic abuse have found that the services that are available don't scratch the itch of exactly what it is that they need.
We created the high conflict screening because we wanted to make something that was easy and accessible for family law professionals to be able to understand the dynamics of domestic abuse and coercive control within their cases.
The value for the client especially is that that screening process can be done much faster and much cheaper by Sagesse than it ever could be done by a lawyer's office. And there's a benefit to the lawyer as well, in that they have somebody they trust, they have somebody they know as an expert doing that work.
In my opinion, both personally and professionally, Sagesse is an invaluable resource that helps us as lawyers do better for our clients, but also helps our clients through one of the most difficult decisions that they'll ever have to make.
The high conflict screening process is really simple. It starts on our website where clients are able to fill out a short survey with information about the dynamics of what's going on in their relationship. Based on that, our clinical team is going to review and make some assessments about follow-up that's required. In those follow-ups, we're going to have a quick conversation to really understand what might be happening. And at the end, we're going to make our assessment about the experience of domestic abuse or coercive control and share that information with the client as well as the lawyer and mediator if consented to. Once the client is connected to our clinical support team, they're going to have the opportunity to have access to any of our programs and have the support that they need.
The interesting part about the screening results that can come back from Sagesse is it doesn't give you any detail. And that's important. It triggers you to have heightened sensitivity to that particular issue on a file, especially in cases where clients are not likely to be entirely transparent in any other way. The Divorce Act gives an obligation to the lawyer to discuss alternative dispute resolution options with the client, except in circumstances where that's not appropriate. While the only real circumstances where dispute resolution may not be appropriate is where there's been family violence. So how does a lawyer satisfy that obligation other than by doing screening? They can't.
And I'm a huge supporter of Sagesse and also a past client of Sagesse. As a family lawyer, one of the things that I find difficult to identify, even though I have a lot of experience with domestic violence, is I still grapple around coercive control and recognizing the patterns with coercive control. I think there's a fine line to easily have your bias influence how you run a file. So having the objective information coming from a high conflict screening tool that was developed in collaboration with feedback from lawyers is an integral part of my practice. It allows me to be a better lawyer because I'm able to early on identify some of the underlying issues that may be impacting the file, and then I can run the file accordingly with proper safety measures in place. It's also beneficial to my clients because my clients have the additional supports that they need to move them through one of the most difficult times in their life.
I've done a deep dive and research of everything that's out there, in particular trying to really categorize, frame, and understand what is coercive control and what is it in the eyes of the law. The definition that I use to describe coercive control is a definition that was accepted in a court case. I also had the opportunity to testify in front of a whole variety of committees attached to the House of Commons, both justice-related as well as status of women-related, on all aspects of coercive control, not just the criminalization of it, but the inclusion of it as part of the framework of how Canada understands intimate partner violence.
Lawyers are very expensive. And so if a lawyer is going to do the screening, the lawyer will charge their hourly rate. Sagesse does it for a modest amount, and that amount of money goes back into Sagesse to provide services to other clients who need them. So you're giving back to the community by paying Sagesse to do the screening. It's win-win.
Coercive control can sometimes hide in relationships. People who are experiencing domestic abuse have a tendency to want to minimize it due to shame and embarrassment of being in that situation. And therefore, in my opinion, every single lawyer and every single mediator should be using this tool.